Right now on KGW News at noon, economic turmoil continues as President Donald Trump's new tariffs kick in. Millions took to the street to protest the administration actions. Plus, Boeing settles with families of victims of deadly MAX crash just hours before it was due in court. We have the latest in the legal fight.
I wake up in the morning, what am I going to do today?
And later, a fire tore through an Independence house, leaving a family of 4 without a home. How you can help them out.
It's a long line every day.
And later, long wait times at DMVs as the Real ID deadline approaches. What to expect if you haven't gotten yours yet. Your News at Noon starts right now. Thank you for joining us. I'm China Green. We start today's show with news out of Washington, D.C. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is in the White House right now, meeting with President Donald Trump. This is President Trump's first meeting with a foreign leader since he imposed tariffs on countries around the world. Netanyahu's office said that he and President Trump would discuss tariffs, efforts to return hostages, as well as his battle against the International Criminal Court. The visit comes after Israel shattered the ceasefire in Gaza last month. The planned press conference between the two leaders has been canceled. We'll update you with more details as we learn more. A live look at the big board we have this morning as Wall Street opens on this Monday following the new round of tariffs. The stocks sharply swung down, then up, and then down again this morning. Meanwhile, Asian markets plunged overnight. Singapore, Australia, Japan, South Korea, and India all suffering losses. Japan's Nikkei stock average plunged more than 2,900 points, marking the third largest fall on record during trading hours. Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies also tumbled Sunday after ending last week relatively stable. Also this morning, President Donald Trump is threatening additional tariffs on China. The president wrote on social media that if China does not withdraw its retaliatory tariffs, the U.S. will impose additional tariffs of 50% on China. If President Trump implements his plans, U.S. tariffs on imports from China would reach a combined 104%. Meantime, over the weekend, all 50 states saw demonstrations with millions of people denouncing the actions of the Trump administration. Traffic was shut down in part of downtown Portland on Saturday as people marched across the waterfront protesting the current administration and federal job cuts.
Right now, the democracy in our country is going off the cliff, and we're trying to hold on to it.
That's ridiculous because the tariffs will just be passed on to us. And that's the problem. Things are always passed on to us. You know, people that are rich, they don't care.
The Portland Police Bureau said that there was one arrest of a woman who vandalized a Portland fire and rescue unit. And Sunday afternoon, Representative Maxine Dexter hosted a town hall at Park Rose Middle School with voters expressing concerns over what's happening in Washington, D.C. While Dexter acknowledged that the Democratic Party doesn't have much ability to push back right now, she believes recent decisions from the Trump administration are leading to fissures in the GOP support.
It's unprecedented. We've never lost more than 1,500 points 2 days in a row. And the fact that our president doesn't seem to think that's a problem, I think, is concerning to a lot of folks.
The Democratic Party, meantime, has seen low approval ratings, but Dexter believes the protests in Portland over the weekend show that the party may be able to regain support. All right, we are headed over to Rod Hill. It was just declared not too long ago before this newscast that we have a weather impact alert here locally.
Yeah, for thunderstorms that developed at about 11:45, 11:50 this morning in the valley. Here come the strikes right here, pop up right here, just east of I-5. Now, the cell that produced these has now moved up toward Troutdale over on the east side. Not producing lightning right now, but there could be some hail in these storms, along with very heavy rain. Also, as far as I know, there have been no wind reports out of this particular storm cell as well. We had a lot of heavy rain this morning up around Astoria and Long Beach. Over half of an inch has come down, but there has not been any stormy weather reported with that batch. But we do believe, at least for the next several hours, that there will be a continued chance of thunderstorms in the valley. So we do have the KGW weather impact alert up. And again, the main threat through 5 o'clock would be lightning, heavy rain, and hail. And of course, whenever you see lightning or hear thunder, it's best to get indoors. Our temperatures won't do much this afternoon. We're at 56 right now. We have temperatures holding in the 50s all the way into the evening hours. Live cameras show it's overcast across the area. Here's our Lincoln City Chinook Winds Casino Resort camera at 51 degrees. There are the dark clouds over the valley from the Oregon Garden Resort camera out in Silverton, and downtown Portland currently reporting a temperature of 56 degrees. Again, thunderstorms in the area, believing there's a thunderstorm risk in the valley at least for the next several hours. The impact alert up until 5 p.m. this afternoon. Back to you.
Thank you, Rod. New at noon, a major development in a fatal Boeing crash that killed 157 people in 2019. A settlement has now been reached between Boeing and the families of 2 victims hours before a jury trial was set to begin. Tacoma Aviation attorney Mark Lindquist represents one of the victims, 46-year-old Darcy Bellinger. Before the settlement, the company already admitted guilt. The trial would have asked a jury to determine the amount of money Boeing should pay to surviving family members. Now, the terms of the settlement are confidential right now, but Lindquist did say that his clients are, quote, satisfied with the solution, accountability, and closure. The attorney says among the 157 people who died, there are still cases pending for 18 victims. And in North Bend, a small private airplane skidded off the runway and fell into the water there around the Southwest Oregon Regional Airport. This happened this morning just after 6. The airport says all 4 passengers and 1 crew member have been rescued and taken to the hospital. We don't know their conditions or the cause of the incident, but the runway was closed for a few hours to commercial flights, but has since reopened. We have an update for you on Amtrak and its Cascade service. All of its trains have been restored and are operating on schedule. This is after it took several cars out of service late last month due to corrosion issues. Amtrak says the replacement trains are running with a limited number of cars and fewer seats, so it suggests you book in advance.
And I've been homeless, but never a tragedy like this. Never. Something you could prepare for in advance, but this was just sudden.
A family is left struggling to make ends meet after a fire ripped through a home that they have lived in for decades. And now they're looking for help from the community as they try to move forward. Celine Stevens has more.
The flames were just shooting out of this front garage door by the time I got out.
On Wednesday, April 2nd, the home Bobby Molina and her family have lived in for over 20 years in Independence went up in flames.
It was about 7:30 and I smelled something. The kids had just left and I thought they'd left something on the stove. And I stood up and somebody's banging on my door like as mad as can be. And then I heard, "Your house is on fire."
According to Polk County Fire District, by the time they arrived, they found a fully involved garage fire that had spread into the home. Bobby, her husband, her grandson, and granddaughter-in-law all lived in the home, with Bobby being the only one at home at the time.
And we got a phone call, and Bobby was screaming at the top of her lungs. Had no idea what was going on. She didn't say anything clear, but she was yelling for her dog, Shadow.
The family had several dogs, with all but 2 making it out alive.
My companion dog we lost, Shadow. Shadow? He was my shadow, because he was always right there.
Another dog, Daisy, also not making it out.
Called her Wiggle Butt because she would sit there on her front paws and just wiggle her butt. I saw them bring her out of the house, and she was black.
Now, Bobby and her husband are staying in a small trailer, while the other 2 stay in a motel.
Right now we're dealing with trying to find a bigger living quarters. We're wanting to get at least a 30-foot motorhome or travel trailer or fifth wheel. And, that's going to be our forever home.
Bobby's husband, suffering from a severe liver disease, yet still working as an agricultural worker.
We have high medical bills due to my husband's illness. And, only he's the only one working. I'm retired. I wake up in the morning, what am I going to do today?
It's just been a lot of stress. A lot of tears have been shed.
Now, family and friends like Tracy Weston are trying to help fundraise for funds and necessities.
We need financial donations or people who have some skills, or as something comes up that we need, when we ask for it, we're trying to get the water, the sewer, all that hooked up so they can live here and be functional.
Celine Stevens, KGW News.
The Polk County Fire District says the investigation of the fire is now closed and it's considered to be undetermined and accidental. If you want to help, they have a GoFundMe page. You can find the link on KGW.com.